Let's think about a little boy in the classroom. But he's not just sitting and listening. He moves a lot, he turns around, and he absolutely can't concentrate on the lesson. He also disturbs the other students. That's why the teachers say naughty boy about him. He's really challenging one. And now let's think about another one. Very engaged into reaching the best results, spending a lot of time to train and repeating many times the movements to achieve perfection. He loves to win and he surprises even the coaches that is so ambitious and so hardworking. Frankly speaking, that's the same boy. That's Michael Phelps, well-known American swimmer that won 28 Olympic medals, the first ones when he was just 15 years old. He suffers from ADHD and he was diagnosed in early childhood. So, what was the trigger that led to change the naughty boy to the very effective swimmer, Olympic winners? Not what. The question should be who. That was his mother. She was always present. She listened to his needs. She supported him to plan the daily schedules. She presented different options and accepted his choices. And finally, she was always present and celebrating his successes. That's almost all we can say about inclusive teaching. Attention, listening to the needs, and constant support. So let's say a few words about the needs of neurodivergent students. They are connected with the challenges they face. So, sensory overload, too much sounds, too much pictures, too much colors, too much people, too much tasks. That also causes some difficulties in tasks execution. It is really difficult for them to plan, to start the tasks, and to keep the schedules and the deadlines. They have also many problems with effective communication. They feel they do not understand well the other people, and they feel they are not fully understood. And they need really clear and direct communication to catch the information, but mainly to understand the meaning. And that's also the reason that they feel isolated very often. The other thing is that they feel different and they are aware about the stereotypes that describe this neurodivergent students group. Hyperfocus, which is the power to be deeply concentrated on one issue, but at the same time to feel a bit lost in the multidimensional reality. And adaptation to changes, routines, the environment that is repeatable, predictable, that's something they like. But it doesn't suit nowadays environment. So what can we do? We can support them on different levels. The highest one, policies and regulations, refer to the possibilities and money that led to implement the lower layers. Institutional support, university one as well, means creating the culture of acceptance, of support and openness to very flexible programs that can fit the special needs. to the openness to different teaching methods and different assessment methods as well. That's openness to create spaces that are friendly for neurodivergent people. Teachers are finally responsible for the relationship with them. So the way they organize the classes, they organize the materials that are assessed by students, the way they check the knowledge, and the way they give feedback is very crucial here. So I went through almost 50 web pages of different European universities. And frankly speaking, I found a lot of good practices of inclusive teaching. So let's have a look at just few of them. So I found a lot of documents that trigger the university environment to be really inclusive, but also the silence rooms, the tided windows, and the special soft materials on the chairs. I found a lot of practices connected with improving communication. Direct one and very focused on the real goals. Sharing the materials which are available as the oral ones, but also the written ones. The possibility to pre-read the materials before the course, and the materials that are really well structured with diagrams that creates the very clear view of what will or was served and what's the aim, and that divides the material into the smaller parts. I found also a lot of courses that are focused on flexibility, letting students to choose according to their interests, according to their needs, different development paths, different modes of teaching and learning, and different possibilities to be assessed. Ideas like giving more time for the assignment or to let the student to take the exam in a separate room are quite popular ones. But also many ideas of the adaptation process. A body who supports his colleagues to feel better and to understand better. So by introducing the university campus and the rules, that makes the neurodivergent students more self-confident. Also, possibility to record classes or to read the transcriptions after having the course. Many ideas, different ones, but all of them are included in UDL, Universal Design for Learning. That's a very brilliant idea, I must say, based on three main pillars. The first one is we need to understand and accept the different mode of learning, different cognitive models, different communication models, because that's the first step. Next, we need to use different ways to motivate students to be interested in the material that is served. And finally, adjusted methods of delivering classes, checking the knowledge, and communication with students. There are a lot of methods, but frankly speaking, I also found a gap. I was interested how to manage a group of students where we have one person that is neurodivergent. That's very challenging because we want to treat all of them equally. And at the same time, we know that the one requires special treatment. How to do that? I must say that most of my classes are based on teamwork. So I try to implement the course regarding differences in mental and behavioral styles as well, to make students understand really well that all of them are valuable and can be used to better collaboration and to achieve the synergy. I divide roles really clearly, but I stress a lot that even the person who is just sitting and is not as active as the others during the collaboration task can be very valuable for them, because that's the great observer. That's the one who knows a lot what happened and can analyze it to repeat the task even better. I also try to trigger students to reflect, to comment by using different possibilities. The first obvious one is discussion, but I also used some apps to let them to comment anonymously, because for some of them, it's really, really important. So let's come back to the little boy. ADHD, with three main symptoms: hyperactivity, inattention, and impulsivity. Challenges, aren't they? But let's have a look at them from a bit different perspective. Full of energy, able to focus really deeply, able to take different tasks at the same time, creative, and open to experiment, open to take risk. Do you know these are the features of the effective entrepreneurs? And there are some research that confirm the correlation between ADHD symptoms and entrepreneurial approach. So, what does it mean, inclusive teaching? It means ability to find out the talents of each student, but especially of neurodivergent ones. And we as teachers, we can't try to fix them. We shouldn't do that. What we need and what we should do is to design proactively the university environment that make it possible to discover and to develop the neurodivergent students' talents. Thank you.